Hi, David Hood here, and this video is about the offer that I have for how I made my first $1 million with Client SEO. I think there's a lot of unique stuff in here that other people you just won't find in other products and courses, and that's what I try to make. I don't want to recreate the same thing that everyone else has created, and so there's some really unique lessons along with just a unique way that I have of showing things. Like I don't think I've seen anyone else offer real, actual closing call transcripts. I've never seen anyone offer that. So and then there's other things as well in here that I think are pretty unique. So first of all, why am I doing this? Actually, someone asked me, are you getting out of the game? Well, no. I mean, this doesn't take from me at all, but really, there's a guy named Jim Rohn, and what he talks about is study, practice, teach. That's SPT, study, practice, teach. And I've been studying for a long time, and I've been practicing for a long time, and I think I'd like to give back. I'd like to have people come to me and say, "You helped me build my business." That makes me feel really good, and I do have people telling me that already, and so that makes me feel great. That's sort of like that's a huge intangible. And it does help. I'm helping others, and I'm helping my family. Yes, it's going to cost you money. It's going to make me a little bit of money. It's not going to like blow my doors down. It's not going to become my anywhere near my full-time business. There's just not enough people. You're not going to see a bunch of me marketing this same thing over and over again for years to come. I mean, it's just something where I thought, hey, I've got some things to say, and this is, I think I can help some people out with specific things that I don't hear other people talking about. So I'm going to try to do a really quick about me. I went to Texas Academy of Math and Science, and that's where after the first 2 years of high school, the last 2 years I spent it on a college campus taking math and science campus. So my brand is the Dallas SEO geek. I really am a geek. I mean, I'm a math and science geek. And then I went to UT, University of Texas, for mechanical engineering. And then I also got a master's from Georgia Tech with industrial engineering, which I really enjoyed doing industrial engineering in school. But then here's the real problem. Here's the reason why I started on this path. I really didn't enjoy. I worked for TI as an industrial engineer. Essentially, working in the factory. I wasn't actually physically in the part where they make the chips, where they have the clean suits on, although I did go in there sometimes, but I was in the same building, helping them make those more efficient, which sounds kind of interesting, but at the same time, I felt like I was getting dumber every year. I had a really good boss, and then I got a really crappy boss, and, that didn't help, but it really wasn't something that was challenging to me, and it wasn't interesting, and I felt like how good I did with my in terms of how much value I added to the company really didn't correlate with how well I was rewarded, and specifically even like a really great raise was like 8 or 9% in a year was just an amazing. Like if you did a baller job, unless you got a promotion, that's about as high as you can expect. Which you think about that, that's like uh, you know maybe double the rate of inflation. It's not very good. While I knew that with your own business, you can grow that so much faster. Okay, I quit, but I had been planning to quit and been trying SEO just really on the side for several years before I just finally quit after my second kid was born. And I had savings, and so it was kind of going without a net. And the wife was not happy. She, with two young children, to quit my $85,000 per year job that I had a master's degree in. That's not something that that most people would say that a lot of people would say that's stupid. But I wasn't happy, and I looked forward 20 years, and I said, if I'm still doing this in 20 years, and I still hate it, it's my own freaking fault. And I didn't like it. I knew I didn't like it, and I could have done better. I could have had a better attitude, but I could just tell the corporate culture really just wasn't for me. And so I quit my job, and I had some savings, but actually after the first 9 months, I really had made almost no money. My revenue was like $1,000 a month, which is not bad, but it was definitely not enough to support me and my family, and I was running out of money very quickly. In fact, I ended up running out of savings, and we had to fire our nanny, and I was kind of part-time nanny and part-time business. While my wife essentially supported us for 3 or 4 months, and then it really picked off, and so it was like, yay, things are going on. And then like any business, it wasn't just straight up. It was up and then a little bit down, not all the way down, but down. And so I was like, oh man, it started to look a little bit bad. It didn't have to get to the point that it did before, and then I picked back up, and it got even better. So the trend is generally up, but up and down along the way. And then it dropped down a little bit, And then lately, for basically the last year, it's been really baller. I've been ranking #1 for Dallas SEO. That's obviously very helpful, but there's other things going on there. But it's been really, really great. I'm on pace this year to do about 400 to 500,000, somewhere in that range. I haven't checked in a couple weeks because it's plenty enough for me to live comfortably on for a while. I took a nice vacation with my family recently on the beach, and that's something that I hadn't ever done, and it was really nice. So that's enough about me. What's in the content? So first of all, real closing call transcripts. These are actual calls with actual people that have turned into sales, that have said yes, and that you'll get to see. Now, obviously, like their real names and their private information will be redacted, but it's everything else is exactly the same. It doesn't take away from it. You'll know the niche. So if it's like Jimmy Bob's Plumbing Company, then I'll just do blank blank plumbing company. And so all the conversation will still be relevant to that. Okay. And along with that is the real email closing call scripts. And I'm going to try to align these. Sometimes the recording structure doesn't work very well. I'm going to try to align these as much as possible so you can see pretty much the full process. Now, I'm not going to keep their information private. I'm not going to show their sales videos, but I'll show other sales videos that are exactly the same. Okay, I've got quite a bit of these. Basically, I put them up on unlisted YouTube links, so don't share this stuff. Man, my phone is on fire. Hold on. I think that this set right here is going to be worth all of the price of admission and a lot more. And a lot of this has to do with, you can say all you want. This is how you should talk. But hearing the actual words that I say in a full 30-minute conversation is extremely beneficial to you in knowing, the little things. The exact way in which you say things is actually really important, and the flow of the conversation is important. In some circumstances you should say this, in some circumstances you shouldn't say it. And I think that this is going to be really beneficial to a lot of people who, you're struggling with, what do I say in these circumstances? Because there's basically an infinite amount of things you can encounter, and I think that this is going to cover a lot of the main things that you'll expect to see, and how I respond to them. Because these calls and emails, I've just done them so many times that I've got my process down pretty well, and that matches with my positioning. And so I've also got a lot of stuff that I call process documentation, and I haven't really heard anybody else use this term. That's my Amazon Echo in my office, thinking I asked her for her. So process documentation is essentially, it's kind of, I think the name is very descriptive. It's basically, I use OneNote, and everything I do I document, and when I have like something that I do more than once, I create like a checklist, or I create like a documentation on what happened. And this way, I also like a date stamp thing, so you can see what date I'm making this video. So I can go back, especially for like a client, I can see exactly what I did and exactly when I did it. Or if I don't have to remember or rebuild like my sales video template every single time. I've got a template, and I'm going to give that to you, the exact template that I use. These are the things that I cover, and this is what I say. And you'll also see that in my exact offers in my videos. So some of the videos will actually have offers, but let me make sure to put that in here. I will give actual offers. Okay. So, for example, the sales process, we got the discovery questions. I'm going to try to wrap this video up as quickly as I can. Discovery questions, research and analysis video template, actual offers, outbound prospecting methods. I've done some of this, but this hasn't been the focus of my business because most of the people do end up calling me. But I have played with this a little bit and have had some success, but it's not as profitable as ranking #1 for Dallas SEO, obviously. But that's a difficult thing, and not everyone's going to be able to do that. I do have an alternative for that, and I'm going to discuss that in a little bit. Exact message when I get asked for referrals. Simple sales contract. I paid a lawyer $375 to build this for me, and so I think that that's going to be valuable right there, so it's actually got some legal speak in it. Okay, so I will talk about fulfillment processes a little bit. Now, I want to make this note right here. While there is some SEO content, this is not really an SEO product that I'm offering you. It's not the core of the product. This is more about how to figure out how to build a business, and that a huge part of business is sales. So like business and sales. But there will be some SEO in here, and I'll at least try to point people in the right direction for what I think is working. But I'm not going to like show. This is not an SEO training course where you're going to learn everything that I know about SEO. That's just outside the scope. It'd be something completely different. I will show you what I call my super fast PBN bidding, which I've never shown to anyone before. I can bid on 30 to 50 good domains in like an hour. So I spend very little time bidding on domains, and when I do put time into it, I can get a lot of good domains for very inexpensive. I will show you some of the SEO basics. Again, this is not like going to go into the ultimate level of detail, but I think it's going to help you understand how I view things and give you a few unique perspectives. Same things for keyword research, an on-page, an off-page, and then I have an easy 60-minute or less disavow process. That's actually pretty... I haven't seen anyone teach how to do this quickly. Okay. Some additional trainings, like 5 core principles. So there's 5 things that I focus on in my business, and actually it's in order, and so I spend almost all my time on number 1, and then number 2 is like number 1 and number 2. That's actually the vast majority of my time. Okay, while the other ones kind of need to touch sometimes. If all I did was work on number 1 and number 2, my business would be just fine and doing great. Okay, and the more you work on the most important one, the better off you're going to be long term. So this is about building a long-term business. This isn't about making a few $1,000s here and then crashing a couple months later. It's about building something that lasts and that grows over time, which is what I've done. Every year has been up, and this year is not going to be an exception. I think I'm very close to already passing last year right now in the middle of June. Sales positioning. This is really important, getting the perspective of how exactly do I position myself. And this really matters a lot because different people position themselves differently, and that's fine. But once you put yourself in a certain position and you present yourself as something, you have to stay congruent to that. And everything that you do is congruent with that. Has to stay congruent with that positioning. And as soon as you try to move outside that bounds to try to maybe pick up additional opportunities, if someone smells that, they might not know exactly what they're smelling, but it kind of throws off some warning bells in their minds, and I think it dramatically decreases your chances of converting someone. So this is important, and you don't have to have the same sales positioning as me, but understanding my sales position, I think, is going to help you understand what you want to do. I'm the geek. I'm an SEO geek. That's what I present myself as. I'm going to go into more detail. So important fundamental economic principles. Productivity fundamentals. Industrial engineering in my background is essentially efficiency engineering. So I made the factories more efficient. Okay, and so I think I have a unique perspective and an expert perspective on how to be efficient in general and how to apply those same principles to your work and making sure that you get the things done that need to get done that are going to give you the most benefit. Okay, and being able to stay focused on the most important things and not do a bunch of this little stupid stuff that really doesn't help you at all or very much. So all this I'm offering for one-time price of $275. So that's how much all of this up here costs. I wasn't planning on doing this when I first asked about this, but I did want to share a few things with people, and I call it my elite level. And I only want a few people in this, and that's why I'm offering it separately. 3 payments of $397, and it does offer coaching, a little bit of coaching. So 1 20-minute call per month. And some general email coaching. That doesn't mean like I'm going to answer your email every single day right away, or you're going to be able to call me whenever you want. I mean, that's obviously not reasonable for $397 per month. This is already kind of a stretch. I'm not really making a whole lot of money with this. This isn't like super beneficial for me, but I think that some people might need this. So as a note, with the one time up here, I'm not going to give direct email coaching. That's just too low for that. If you say, oh, here's my business model, or here's a client, what exactly would you say to that client? That's not real. That's pretty much outside the scope of this. As opposed to, you said this in this video. What exactly does that mean? That's covered. If it's further clarification on any of the training materials, that would be considered essentially like responding to or support of the product. Well, how do I build my business, or this is where I'm at, where do you think I should go, some of the higher level stuff, you'd want to get this if you wanted that. So let's say it's about a 90-day program. That's what I'm thinking for, and we'll just do 3 payments of $397. And if you still think you need more help, we'll talk about it at the time. And I do want to offer something that I guess I really didn't want to tell people, but because I'm only going to put a few people on this, I think I'm okay with sharing this. There's a huge secret out there. It's hard to rank for Dallas SEO, but there's some other options out there that I have not seen anyone ever talk about on ranking and driving traffic. And actually, if I had known this at the beginning, I would rather take this path than the Dallas SEO path. Okay, that says a lot, because the Dallas SEO path has been so critical to my business success. I'm going to tell you my favorite niche. And I'm also going to give you what a great, easy, profitable niche. This has my best long-term client, and this will surprise you. That competition is low, and the profitability is very high. The value of their customer is like $7,000 to $100,000, and again, the competition is pretty low. And this person has paid me $3,400 a month for like 3 years. Okay, so this has been, they've my longest term. They've been with me forever. And if I were to really focus on a niche, I would probably pick these 2 niches and go after that. Okay, especially if you're doing outbound marketing, that's a lot of what I would do. So that's it, and please let me know if you have any questions. You can shoot me a message on Facebook, or you can email me at david@dallasseogeek.com, and we can go from there. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.